Imagine a man so brave, so fearless, that his very name struck terror into his enemies. A man whose life was more thrilling than most novels, who not only fought on the front lines, but inspired one of the most iconic literary works of all time. Meet Thomas Alexandre Dumas, the real-life hero who inspired the Count of Monte Cristo and the Three Musketeers. Today, we're diving deep into the life of Thomas Alexandre Dumas, a man who rose from the ashes of slavery to become one of the most legendary military figures in history. He was a general, a warrior, and a symbol of resilience, but did history remember him? Let's find out. Our story begins in the hot, turbulent Caribbean. In 1762, Thomas Alexandre Dumas was born on the French colony of Saint-Domingue, now known as Haiti. But here's where things get interesting. Thomas Alexandre wasn't born to privilege. He was born the son of a French nobleman, Alexandre Antoine Davy de la Pelletrie, and an enslaved woman named Marie Cosette Dumas. His father was a wealthy Frenchman who had a plantation in Saint-Domingue. But when his mother was enslaved, Thomas Alexandre's future was already marked by a harsh reality. At the age of 12, after being sold to pay for his father's debts, Thomas Alexandre was taken to France by his father. France had outlawed slavery in its mainland territories, so when he set foot on French soil, he was officially free. He trained in the arts of combat, developed a passion for physical fitness, and honed his strength. Little did he know, these skills would serve him well in the coming years. By the time the French Revolution exploded in 1789, Thomas Alexandre had grown into a tall, athletic, and imposing figure. At the age of 24, he enlisted in the French Revolutionary Army, and despite his race, he quickly proved himself to be a natural leader and a fierce fighter. Thomas Alexandre rose through the ranks of the French military faster than anyone expected. It wasn't just his strength that made him a standout. It was his intellect, his ability to think on his feet, and his sheer courage. By the age of 31, he was appointed the rank of Brigadier General, a position that not only made him one of the youngest generals in the French army, but also one of the first black generals in modern history. During the Italian campaign in 1796, he helped lead a successful French assault against the Austrians and their allies, winning crucial battles for the revolutionaries. His ferocity on the battlefield earned him the nickname the Black Devil from his enemies, a title he wore as a badge of honor. Enter Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who would come to dominate Europe. In the early days, Dumas and Napoleon worked together, and the two even had mutual respect for one another. But as Napoleon began to consolidate power, things began to change. Dumas was not a man to quietly follow orders. He had his own ideas of how the military should function, and that didn't always line up with Napoleon's vision. Eventually, their relationship soured, and while Dumas continued to fight valiantly in battle, Napoleon's jealousy and political ambitions led to his downfall. Dumas was stripped of his titles and honors, and his military career hit a roadblock. In 1798, Napoleon led his campaign in Egypt, and Dumas was once again part of the army's elite force. But what began as a mission to extend French power in the region turned into a nightmare. Dumas showed incredible bravery and leadership, especially in the harsh desert campaigns. He led his men through some of the most difficult conditions imaginable, facing starvation, disease, and harsh terrain. After a series of unsuccessful military campaigns in Egypt, Dumas tried to return to France. But his ship was captured, and he was imprisoned for 2 years by the enemy. All the while, Napoleon, now firmly in power, made no effort to free him. This betrayal would mark the final break in Dumas' relationship with Napoleon. Though his military career had ended in ruin, Thomas Alexandre found solace in his family. He married Marie-Louise Elizabeth Labourette, and together they had a son, Alexandre Dumas. Little did Thomas Alexandre know, his own incredible life would go on to inspire his son, who would one day become one of the greatest writers of the 19th century. Alexandre Dumas, the younger, grew up hearing stories of his father's amazing life, his battles, his courage, his triumphs, and his struggles. These stories became the foundation for his father's literary legacy. In the Count of Monte Cristo and the Three Musketeers, we can see echoes of Thomas Alexandre's bravery, his sense of honor, and his larger-than-life spirit. From his military achievements to his inspiration for his son's masterpieces, Thomas Alexander Dumas' life is a reminder that even in the face of adversity, one can rise above and change the world. So, the next time you read the Count of Monte Cristo, remember the true story behind the hero. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey through history. If you enjoyed learning about Thomas Alexander Dumas, be sure to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories from the pages of history. Until next time, keep exploring